assume the leaders of the future will just appear. Someone gets promoted, someone gets elected, someone gets hired. We give them a larger team, a bigger office, a fancy title, and then we hope that title will bring leadership with it. Gallup has been studying leadership and management for decades, and they found that companies promote someone without the talent to lead 82% of the time. 82%. Imagine if we applied that to medical school. 82% of our graduates don't really have the talent to be a doctor, but they showed up for all the classes, so we went ahead and graduated them. 8 out of 10 times, companies get it wrong. 8 out of 10 times, we're not promoting leaders. We're promoting high performers and hoping they figure it out. And what's worse, then we abandon them to figure out leadership on their own. So we read books, we go to conferences, we listen to TED Talks, and yet leaders continue to burn out, alone at the top, silently wondering why it still feels so hard. And we've been doing this for a very long time. In 1776, leaders were chosen based upon who had the most land, who had the most influence, or simply who had the loudest voice. 250 years later, and we still choose our leaders in exactly the same way. Money, power, volume. So let me ask you, how's that working out for us? When you look around, do you see leaders using their influence to help others succeed? Or are we all still desperately hoping great leadership will just magically appear? A few years ago, I was speed walking down the hallway on the way to my 4th back-to-back meeting when my phone rang. I pulled it out of my pocket, ready to send whoever it was straight to voicemail, but the name on the screen stopped me dead in my tracks. It said Dario. When I was a Navy chief on board the USS San Antonio, I had a young sailor on my team named Dario. Dario was a good kid, plenty of talent and energy, and like most sailors, he was inconsistent. Some days he would rise to the occasion, other days he made me question whether he was listening at all. Truthfully, it would have been easier to let somebody else deal with Dario. Leadership isn't about easy, though. So I challenged him. I pushed him. I'm sure there were days he thought, why can't Chief just get off my back? I expected excellence because I saw potential in him. Now, eventually I transferred to another ship. Life moved on. I retired from the Navy. I hadn't thought about Dario in 15 years. So when I saw his name on my phone, of course I answered. He said, hey, Chief, I just wanted to call and let you know, I just found out I made Chief. Thanks for pushing me, and thanks for believing in me before I believed in myself. Now, I've told that story a lot. In fact, I probably need to send a royalty check to Dario. A call like that, I mean, it'll make your whole year. Shoot, it made my whole decade. I like knowing that I made a difference. Makes me feel like a hero. And hero leadership, it's intoxicating. I see it all the time with leaders. They walk into a meeting feeling like they have to have all the answers, solve all the problems, move everything forward. They swear they can't take a vacation, and when they're forced to, they keep their phone on and right next to them the entire time, even in the pool. Sound familiar? Those leaders have bought into the lie that being needed is the same thing as being valuable. Because if you make yourself irreplaceable, you'll never lose your job, right? When you're the one everyone comes to, it feels good. It feels safe. Here's reality. If you're not replaceable, you're not promotable. Indispensability feels like job security, but it's a trap built on the lie that the leader needs to be the hero. That's the lie I believed. Early on in my Navy career, I had to write performance evaluations for my team. Evaluations in the military can determine your entire career. One sentence can propel you forward or set you back years. And I'd never written one before. So I knocked on my boss's door. I said, "Hey, boss, I've never done this before. Can you give me some guidance?" And he said, "You're a smart guy. You can figure it out." I said, "Yeah, but," and he cut me off. He said, "Curran, I thought you were an A player." Translation, real leaders know how to figure it out, hero. Looking back now, I feel sorry for those sailors. They trusted me to lead them, and I hurt their career. Fast forward a few years in my own career, another phone call. This one had a gruff voice. "Report to the ship at 0300 tomorrow morning." For those of you that don't speak military, that's so early even God is just getting out of bed. I was racking my brain trying to figure out how much trouble I was in, and then the voice said, "Congratulations, Chief Curran." That was the moment I found out I was putting on khakis. See, when you become a Navy chief, your uniform changes. It goes from the blue or white Cracker Jacks to a khaki-colored uniform. And you don't just get a new uniform, you get a 6-week intense leadership stand-down. And intense means a little something extra in the military. 6 weeks of being broken down and rebuilt. 6 weeks of hearing the same message over and over. Stop trying to be a superstar. No one cares how good you are anymore. They care how good you make others. I went in thinking leadership was about being the best. Putting on my khakis was about being the best performer, the best operator, the best of the best. I came out realizing leadership wasn't about me at all. It was about investing in others. Blue was about your accomplishments. Khaki is about building the team. Blue was about what you can accomplish. Khaki is about their success. Blue was about performance. Khaki was about people. I recently had a conversation with a great leader who gets this. Let's call him Marcus, because that's his name. Marcus recently took over leadership of a very large multi-site church. Imagine stepping into that role. The spotlight is bright. Everyone is wondering if you can live up to the legend. When you get that role, the temptation is strong to become the hero. But Marcus said something that stuck with me. He said, "I don't want to be the brand. I want to be the most influential leader no one knows about." See, builders understand something heroes never will. Heroes are still trying to win the meeting, still trying to be indispensable, still trying to be the hero of the story. But our world, our organizations, our families, they're not stories. They're systems. And systems need builders. Builders focus on others. When our vision first begins to develop, the very first thing we look for is someone's eyes. Researchers say that babies are trying to figure out 2 things. First, if I cry, will someone come? Do I matter to someone? And secondly, and maybe even more important, when they come, do they have happy eyes? Do I bring them joy? Happy eyes is the signal that says, "I'm glad you're here." And no matter how old we get, we're all still looking for someone who looks at us with eyes that say, "You matter, and I'm excited about who you can become." After that phone call from Dario, I got other phone calls. Different sailors, different years, always the same message. "Chief, I finally made chief." Every year, I get less and less of those calls. And that's exactly what should happen. Because chiefs like Dario are getting those calls now. At my Navy retirement ceremony, a junior sailor stepped up. She saluted me and said, "Chief, you stand relieved. We have the watch." That's the goal. Not to be the one everyone depends on. Not to leave a vacuum when you leave, but to build leaders who will go far beyond and achieve more than you ever could. The ones who will call you in 15 years and say, "Thank you." The future of leadership isn't being decided in boardrooms and elections. It's being decided in the conversations we have with someone who needs us to show up. So I'm going to challenge you. Choose one person, someone you think has potential, the person whose name came to mind right now. Put them on your calendar. Show up with happy eyes. Share your failures, your struggles. Challenge them. Believe in them. Build them. Because the leaders of the future don't need spandex and capes. They need you to put on your khakis.